Welcome to Backstage with Richard Ridge, fresh off their critically acclaimed off-Broadway premiere productions of Cat on a Hot Tin Roof. Roof Stage returns with a captivating adaptation of James McClure's dark comedy Lone Star, and I dropped by Theatre Row to catch up with the show's stellar cast and director during a break in rehearsal.
Lone Star is my favorite play. Roy is my favorite character, so I'm very excited to be doing it again. It was done in the 1970s, but it's rarely done in New York City. So I think a lot of people are going to be seeing this play for the first time. It had its Broadway premiere in 1979, I believe. Powers Booth played the character of Roy that I'm playing, the vet with PTSD. But this is the off-Broadway premiere now, 44 years later. And it's a great show. We did it on a very small scale in 2010, 2017, and 2019 in New York City. Small little runs, but with the recent successes of our Cat on a Hot Tin Roof productions, we are now able to really do something that I've always wanted to do, make a legitimate off-Broadway run about Lone Star, with this show. And so super excited that the time has finally come. We're at Theatre Row. We open Saturday, so we're almost there. But it's very exciting because it was always something in the back of my mind that I was like, one day we're going to put Lone Star on a much bigger level than we've done. And here we are.
I mean, it's such a cool little play that one of the main things that I like about it is that not that many people know about it. So they're not going to come in with this preconceived notion of what this play should be. Even though this play's been around since the 1970s, it's a hidden gem that we're taking out and we're polishing it up and we're going to present it to everyone and they're going to look at it and go, wow, that's pretty cool.
The text is it has no business being so funny. It's so...
And he is so funny.
But it's
naturally
not... I mean,
funny.
And thank you, but it's like, it's not hard. Like, you just read the words. You read the words and you understand the motivation. You understand that this is just plain and simply a bad guy with a silver spoon in his mouth who has absolutely no regard for human compassion. And you just let the words come out. It's all on the page. It is absolutely hysterical. I love playing this type of role, someone who shows up, ruins everything. Like, that is such a fun role to play. And I promise that's not who I am. I promise that's not who I am. So it's sort of cathartic to do that in fake life, because in real life, I'm always trying to fix everything. I love the role of Cletus. I can't wait for the audiences to get to meet him.
The other great aspect is James McClure wrote a play called Laundry and Bourbon, which is a companion piece to Lone Star. Because we've done Lone Star so many times, I have been able to develop a relationship with the McClure estate. He passed in 2011, I believe, but I'm very close with his family. But Joe had come up with the idea, way back when we were talking about this, is, well, if we could just take Roy's wife, the character of Elizabeth, somehow figure out a way to bring her into Lone Star so that we can get a more richer backstory of what Roy's really going through. Having Anna come in to play Elizabeth, she's kind of like the prologue of the play. Like, she gives you this really great, rich story of what she's going through, how it's affecting her, what Roy's going through, and she just does such a great job. Not only in her monologues of conveying to the audience, like, really what's going on before you even meet the other three characters, but then she sings as well, and she's such a talented performer.
Musically, it's just recording artist quality. Like,
yeah, she
it's
has
like
such
you're in a studio with her voices,
and she has such a beautiful voice, and she's singing songs of like the Vietnam era. So I mean, she's very engaging. She pulls you in right away. So this is really like an original adaptation, and Joe and I, we formulated the script together. So adding Anna to the production, I think, just makes it even more richer and more fuller, because you're getting that backstory that you otherwise wouldn't get if you're just seeing Lone Star.
It's allowing me to just like put all my feelings on a table and just like pick and choose and pick and choose, and just like it's like a catharsis. And I also love that I get to sing and use my guitar to just vent what I'm feeling, and what I can express with words, I express it through my guitar. Like, we're talking about mental health here, and to me that's so deep. It's a topic that is so current and that is happening in more houses and more families than I can imagine, and how a woman needs to deal with all of that, and how the character of Roy is also dealing with that, and how like love can overcome all of that. So it's very powerful and beautiful.
Talk about partnering with the veteran groups. It's very important.
Yeah, that's another thing that me and the James McClure family had always talked about. Like, well, if we do it again, we'd like to be able to partner with veterans organizations, raise awareness for PTSD. And so we've partnered with Warrior Rising and vetlinks.org. Also, Iraqi war veteran Magda Khalifa has partnered with us as well. She's a real advocate for PTSD resources. So Ruth Stage is working with her and the other two organizations. A portion of the proceeds from all performances will go to these veterans organizations. And on opening night, on December 3rd, we're having a talk back after the performance with Magda, with the president of vetlinks.org, and with the president of Warrior Rising. So the whole night is really going to be about honoring vets, raising PTSD awareness.
It takes place in the 70s, but it's so right for right now. I mean,
Extremely for what's going on right now. The country's in a turmoil. The country was in a turmoil back then. A lot of people are, unless they're of my generation, are not going to remember Lyndon Johnson. They're not going to remember the Vietnam War. They're not going to remember General Westmoreland. They're not going to remember Nixon. They're not going to remember, what Jane Fonda did back then. They're not going to remember what was going on in the colleges back then, even though now a lot of the same stuff is going on. And to see how the country was reacting was a really interesting time. And we tend to forget because we don't like to bring this stuff up, but we're bringing it up. And people are going to be aware of it, for sure.